Hello everybody and welcome to the stream where first it didn't want to connect to my stream, now my buttons don't want to work for my hotkeys, and all these other wonderful things. For any complaints you have about these issues, please email support@streamlabs.com. How are we all this evening? I hope we are well. We are finally live despite Streamlabs trying its best to prevent that. And I am alive, Paderborn. We'll go with that. I'm feeling the effects, many side effects from the flu jab. Hopefully they should clear up soon because I had it yesterday. And good evening, Andrew. How are you? I hope you are. Oh, it's not evening for you, is it? Hello, Andrew. How are you? I hope you are well. And hello, Christopher. Hope you are also well. Had me going for a second there with the error screen. That was because I dived from my hotkeys, which are up here and control all the scenes for the screen, for the stream, to over here to do it on the mouse and hit the wrong button. That is why we had a error screen, Javier. Because good old Streamlabs did an update yesterday when I was setting everything up. Went really well. As I say, any complaints, direct them at support@streamlabs.com. They are your people. I'm sure they'll love to hear from you all. Just about home in time. Excellent. Glad to hear it, Linny. Good that you have made it home. So, all well here, stateside? Excellent. So, before we begin on our Craven carriages, I have an update on our 009 carriage for those that aren't on my Discord. It's received some blue panelling. And the real ones of these have red. But, my railway doesn't use red, it uses blue. And before I go along adding a second coat, making it neater, and touching in details like gold for the door handles and such, I'd like to ask everyone's opinion on the livery. I'd love to know what you think. Does it work, or do you think it's absolutely horrible and should go? It's already had changes made. I didn't originally paint these two panels up here blue. That was suggested on Discord as a shouldn't they be blue? And I went yes, probably, and painted them blue. Got my flu jab booked for Thursday. Well, hopefully it doesn't hit you as bad as it's hit me, because I tell you what, I am absolutely exhausted, bit headachy. It's not fun, but I'm told it only lasts a couple of days at most, so hopefully it will be gone soon. About to test that new purchase. Excellent, Christopher. What a very nice purchase it was. Yes, James. Gold. Always believe in your soul. You've got the power to know. You're indestructible. Unless you're Streamlabs, that's very destructible. And I'm not happy with it right now. Gold and blue looks very royal. Indeed it will. Yes, James. Thank you. Streamlabs following the Microsoft and Ubisoft principle. Every new update should break something that worked fine before. Maybe they should rename it Streamsoft. It broke everything. I am glad I have all my scenes backed up because I had to redo the lot. It was, yeah, it well and truly broke everything. Panel looks beautiful. Thank you, Harry, and good evening. How are you? Looks great, sir. Thank you, Christopher. Looks nice. Thank you, J94. Approve of blue locomotives and carriages. I knew you would, Lily. Beautiful blue, thank you Javier. Love the livery, very royal. Thank you New Carriage looks very stylish, excellent. Thank you Paderborn. Looks like I am going with that. Along with that, I have also added a tail lamp to it since it's a brake coach. It's one of my K's white metal lamps painted red all over, because why not? Someone painted lamps red all over. It might have been the Great Western. And the loco in front of it has finally had the lining finished. It's been waiting a long time for this. It's not had any lining on this side of the tender. I've also done the back of the tender and fixed some bits that had broke. It's had a varnish on it now, so it will be fine. And I have added a lamp to the top of the smoke box, which is a Hornby lamp. So progress happening there. So the plans for tonight. First things first, we're going to get some paint on this one, because it'll be nice to get some paint on it. I have off screen added lots of filler and filed it down. I think it had 3 lots of filler, because we didn't want to be sitting around waiting for 3 lots of filler to dry on stream, quite simply, so I thought I'd get that done. Once that's painted, I have all the parts here to make up the lookout on this carriage. And once that's done, I have, courtesy of the coffee making, some plasticard bend into shape, just boiling water in the coffee press, and they're wrapped on it. So that should give us what we need to make the roofs. I am alive, Harry. Feeling all the side effects of my flu jab yesterday, but I'm alive, well enough to do this. Oak Hill livery is finished. Nutley, Crowborough and Groombridge livery. But I am very tempted to do a terrier in that same livery and put Oak Hill down the side in white letters. But that is for another day. Now, as discussed before, the Brighton had different colours for every class in the 1860s, like pre-Stroudley. So our non-passenger carriage carrying stock is just bare wood. Our first class is very posh looking with its red and black and gold. I've even got round to adding the oval Brighton garters that these early ones had. They didn't go round until Stroudley days. Green on the third class carriages. Let's hope it goes quickly. Indeed, Harry, hopefully it does. It's supposed to only last a couple of days, so hopefully I'll be alright. And second class was what the Brighton was described as chocolate. However, in the Southern Style book, where I get all my livery info from, it says, you know, in the early to mid 19th century, the colour known as chocolate is not what we would describe as chocolate now, and was more of a reddy brown colour. So I have decided to go with the Phoenix Mahogany, which is a reddy brown colour. You've seen this before, it's on a lot of my Stroudley stock, and in fact, before I started these refurbs, these two were in it. Because Craven coaches would have eventually received a painted mahogany livery if they lasted long enough. But that is my thought behind the paint theory on this, a reddish brown. So we're going with mahogany, which is of course a reddish brown colour. Because again, this is not the colour of modern mahogany, it is the colour of old mahogany, of Honduran mahogany, I believe it would have been. And of course I have not turned my phone on to silent. That's my fault, not Streamlabs' fault. Something about tonight had to be my fault rather than Streamlabs, didn't it? Look at this nice, nearly full pot of paint of the only one I have of this colour. Isn't it a very nice pot of paint? I'm sure nothing bad will happen to it, so I'll just dip my brush straight in. And good evening, Heritage Railway Productions. How are you? I hope you are well. Let's start with the chassis, because the chassis would have been the same colour as the, there we go, there's the blue tack. I was waiting for a blue tack comment. There we go, it's stuck. Of course, when I was, once I'd done the filler on this, I should have primed it all. That never happened because I'm out of primer. I used it all in a recycling job. Where I was recycling an old bookcase, and with it I made a bookcase. I'm just, yeah, need to work on my imagination there. I hope you are too. I will be. I'm feeling some side effects from flu jab, but I will be fine. Really find these early paint schemes so interesting. They are very interesting, aren't they? I love the idea that they had a different livery based on class. Makes the train look so much more interesting. And there is the chatbot reminding everyone to smash that like button or give it a gentle tap if you'd really prefer. Whilst you're there, if you're not already, do remember to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you get alerted when I go live or upload a video. Especially important if Streamlabs is going to mess around and make me create new streams constantly, because the one it's scheduled isn't good enough for it apparently. No Streamlabs, I'm not bitter. No, not at all. I don't know what you're on about, Streamlabs. There's no way you could have possibly upset me. It's also a bit weird, it set the time on it wrong, and I reckon that's why it did it. Because it seems to have scheduled it for the time I created it rather than the time I put in for it to be scheduled for. Which is really weird, because when you're scheduling a stream in Streamlabs, as I do, you have to put in a time. You cannot select now, because it has a different option for if you want to go live immediately. So it's just completely ignored that and set the time as the time I created it. But that's just Streamlabs for you. I really had high hopes for Streamlabs with it be when it was bought by or when I discovered it had been bought by Logitech, because I like Logitech. I have a Logitech camera just here. You're looking through it right now. But clearly they're just like every other company when it comes to software. I wasn't too impressed with them when they started putting the watermark on the mobile version though. There are many bits of software I am willing to pay good money for. Streamlabs is not one of them. It's just not reliable enough. And honestly, the start of tonight's stream is making me think that perhaps it is time to start looking at moving away from Streamlabs if it's going to do stuff like that. 14 watching, only 8 likes. Does Gary need to start singing? You're not getting singing. You're definitely not getting singing. People will remove their likes if I sing. It's not happening, James. I am not going to sing Spandau Ballet. Not tonight. Not even jokingly. Oh, there are alternative Streamlabs. There are Streamlabs happen to be one of the most common and generally easy to use, but there are others. Indeed, as Alex says, there are others. I've actually spoke to some YouTubers and Twitch streamers, like big 1 million plus subscriber ones, about software recently and alternatives to Streamlabs. The majority of them use Streamlabs, which made it a problem talking to them about it. But there are some that don't, so I've got some ideas of where to look. As long as I stay away from talking to people that stream on Facebook, I'm sure I'll be fine. Because are you really streaming if you do it on Facebook? Ooh, Facebook gaming. I can never have trouble Streamlabs, but when it did break, it broke badly. Yeah, it really did, didn't it? And as I say, it did break badly this update. All my scenes were gone. So it's messed up setting up the live stream. It's lost my hotkeys. I am not a fan of it this evening. So I'm glad I keep all my scenes and stuff in Streamlabs backed up in a separate file, so that I can just press the Restore Scenes button. Okay, I have to hunt for the button first. Good lord, yeah. Oh yeah, it's well and truly gone with this update. So I say, if you have any issues with tonight's stream, don't smash the dislike button. The dislike button won't do anything for you. But instead, send an email. Let me know by email. I can be contacted on support@streamlabs.com. Send really rude, aggressive emails to me at that email address. No, don't actually, because, you know, it's not actually my email, shock horror. But all complaints should be directed there. So, we have a first coat on our... I would like to give you all a bit of advice right now. So obviously to clean my brushes I use white spirit. To make sure they are clean and to get some of the excess white spirit off, I wipe it on my hands. Everyone knows this. This is not a secret. Just up here is an open wound. What you do not want to do is get white spirit in an open wound. That is my advice for tonight. Remember, I make these mistakes so you don't have to. Hydration is important. Let's get the knife out. I'm likely to hurt myself less. So, I don't think I actually need 5 of these. I probably only need 2. Just like I probably don't need 8 of these. Again, I probably only need 2. But we're going to cut, so we're going to cut out 2 of these and 2 of these, and they are going to make our birdcage. I've also got way too many roof profile strips, like the ones that are in here, and in fact inside all my other carriages, just to help the roof keep its profile and not go flat. Hardcore hand disinfection. Well, yeah, I guess so. The fact it's full of paint probably doesn't help with the disinfection though. So yes, we are going to cut some of it, cut two each of these out, get that built. Cut some of the roof profile supports out, get them stuck in. And then depending on what state that's in, we could put another coat on it. It probably won't be ready for one, but if it is, we will. Otherwise, as I say, because I'm not having enough mistakes this evening, there is a little coffee thing full of boiling water on the floor next to me that we can pour the water out of, so that we've got the plastic that is moulding to shape to make some roofs. Everything's going to go really, really well. That's my prediction. I'm going to put a new knife blade on, because this is still the one that we snapped the end off last week. One day, I'll empty my blunts thing. That day is not today. Of course they're all stuck together. They can't hurt me like that, can they? No. One serious stock of knife blades. It's good, isn't it? It's a good stock of knife blades. Oh, you can see my camera. Hey, camera. Those lights are still really, really, really useless. I can't see a thing from them. I can't see when they're on. They're there to let me know the camera's on, but I can't see them because, you know, I'm behind the camera. Look, there's my Twitter account link. Why don't you all go follow me on Twitter? Sometimes I'm not retweeting political stuff. Sometimes. Sometimes I'm liking and retweeting stuff from a cat on Twitter, James, so there's that. You know, you get over there and follow me, you'll occasionally see Larry the cat. I don't know how I could sell it better to you, to be honest. The cat chased the bird. No, it talks about its life inside number 10 Downing Street. Some wonderful videos on YouTube about what happens when birds land in lion and tiger enclosures in zoos. Poor little fluff surrounded by politicians. Yeah, that's much how the Twitter account feels about it as well. But whoever it is that actually runs it is absolutely hilarious. And they're certainly not someone that's inside 10 Downing Street. Those videos sound wonderful. Yeah, don't they just? Spoiler, doesn't usually end well for the birds. I mean, I kind of guessed that. I'm not imagining some Sylvester and Tweety situation here. Although that would be funny. Oh, that's not very good of you, sharp new blade. I'm disappointed in you. And there goes the end of it. Well, I was about to say these are feeling a lot more through, and then that one just kind of came out on its own. I think that tells us they're through. So I just found the end of that knife blade and then lost it again. At least I hope I've lost it, because I can't feel it in my finger anymore. Oh yeah, there it is. Now it's that little grey speck on the end of my finger. So that can go in the bin. And before anyone points out, I know I would break less of these knife blades if I wasn't cutting on glass, but have you seen how many knife blades I've got? Talking of glass, how important is plate glass for locomotive kit building? I use a sheet of glass because it makes sure all the wheels are level. You know, this isn't not rocking on its wheels, it's level. Glass is definitely flat. No matter how you lay it, it's a flat surface. Whereas a cutting mat might not be. The MDF that this tabletop is made out of certainly isn't. More because it's had so many holes drilled. You know, you can just about on the camera there make out a rectangle there. That is where there was once upon a time a point motor sitting through it. That is now a big massive blob of filler. So the idea of the glass is that you have a surface that you know is definitely flat. I always recommend it as a surface for building locomotive kits, for building any kits for that matter, because you can make sure you've got all the wheels completely flat. Suspecting that the M15X chassis is not square, middle wheel seems slightly higher than the others. I'm wondering whether I need to drill and bush the bearings, but I imagine I'll need a big jig for that. If it's not square, it's definitely worth doing. If you're going to do it, it's definitely worth getting a jig. Although I don't have one right here that I can show you for that purpose, I would definitely recommend having a look at Poppy's Wood Tech. They do jigs for, they do loads of jigs for various different things with kit building and scratch building. All out of laser cut. I think it's MDF, it might be ply. Definitely worth investigating. That is where I would go for one if I were you. Oh look, this is already thin enough that it doesn't need any more cutting off. Other than maybe a tiny bit on the bottom. Those are the ones that I had heard of. Excellent. As I say, I can highly recommend them. I have used them, but I do not have one to show you. Also, how much current the white metal locomotives XO4 motors tend to draw depends on how well serviced the XO4 is. XO4s can be quite high current motors if they are not well looked after. But show it some love and attention, you can get them reasonably low. But again, it will depend on the weight of the loco itself as well. I assume the N15X is quite heavy, so you'll get a higher draw. So there's only an unserviced XO4. How much current for a well-serviced one, how much for a poorly serviced one? So a well-serviced one that's looked after and has a decent magnet in it. First 4 magnets sell magnets designed for XO4 motors. They are literally a drop-in replacement for the original motor. They even have the screw hole ready in for you. Part number F12913. With a rare earth magnet like that and a proper service, you can have an XO4 running on 150 to 200 milliamps. I like First for Magnets, best magnet shop ever. As far as I know, it's the first magnet shop ever. I hope you heard that there, because otherwise that was just me making a stupid noise. Yeah, so with a decent magnet, 150 to 200 milliamps, happily. With the original steel motor, that's 60 years old at this point in some of them, and not being serviced, you can be looking at 2, sometimes even 2.5 amps. So definitely service and a new motor, a new magnet. And that's just the motor on its own. That's without it actually doing any work. That's just spinning itself. In fact, when I did my last order for these magnets from First 4 Magnets, not sponsored, not in the slightest bit sponsored, just a satisfied customer. It came with a load of extra magnets chucked in there for free, which were circular magnets, which now hold up the back seam on the 009. On building DCOs for a club layout, the EM gauge on its person has suggested fixing them to cut out 1.5 amps, wondering whether this may not be ideal, if there's a possibility of anyone using kit-built locomotives poorly serviced motor. Out of interest, where do you get the 2 amp figure from? From my multimeter. I have a lot of XO4s. I'm sure this is not a shock to most people that I have a lot of XO4s. But honestly, James, the 1.5 amp cutout is probably fine. If someone is running a loco with a motor in that bad condition, it's probably best they're not running it for long. So if it trips out as soon as they start trying to run it, that's just a sign they need to get it serviced. It's definitely not a shock, and it is useful to know that this is first-hand knowledge. Yes, indeed, first-hand, always first-hand knowledge when it comes to XO4s, me. The state of some of the ones I've got is quite shocking. And it's useful, thank you. It's excellent. I spotted some of the 5 poles on eBay and have put in some bids. Excellent. They make a huge difference to the performance. Five-pole armature, magnet, and a service, and those things will run better than some modern locos, even on DC. I wish I knew where the footage of an 08 I did once upon a time was. Did it for someone at club. He wanted to test my ability to make XO4s be as good as a modern motor. So I went all out on this 08 he had. And it was just the most beautiful running thing. People were rather shocked at how well it ran. But this was some years ago now, and I have no idea where the footage I took of it is. I still find it weird thinking back to years ago at the club, because I consider myself a reasonably new member. I've stood for election for the board 3 times. And well, according to my badges up there, I've been a director since at least 2016. Now there's no bits of knife I have to worry about in these ones. Isn't that nice? Look at me not getting stabbed. Since 2016, gosh, a while now. Indeed. And that's, and I say, that's just my time as a director. Incidentally, if one is fitting bushes to the chassis for Romford axles, where might one find suitable bushes? Before you ask, I've tried garden centres. Scale link. Scale link will have the bushes you need. How easy is it to order from Scale Link? You can order on the website. All goes through on the website. I think I usually pay with PayPal. Have a website you can order with a debit card. I can order with a debit card. There we go. It is extremely easy to order from Scale Link. It is a shame that they are a company that is destined to be no more in the near future. I both bet no phone call to grumpy business owners. No, indeed, which is always a plus. However, like retirement, yes, James, retirement. However, I get my loco wheels from. Get your orders in, because I've looked over the financials of Scale Link. This Scale Link not selling his website still. He's been trying to sell it for years though, Javier, and no one's interested. I have looked over the money it makes. Now, bearing in mind the amount of stuff he must have, tooling wise, etching wise, etc., for everything he does, when you consider that even these are Scale Link. They come from Scale Link, etc. The business is the money it's making. It wouldn't be worth someone paying more than say 40,000 for the whole business, just because of what the turnover is. And I bet there's a lot of tooling in there that I certainly wouldn't want to let go for 40,000 if I were him. Alan Gibson becomes the only source of wheels on shelf in all projects. I believe he's got 2023 as the date for when he's finally shutting up shop. If James places an order, he can let us know, because he sends out info about the closure and what's going on with it all, with every order. So, you know, that's what we need. We need James to order some bushes and let us know what it says. Markets is still an alternative to Gibson. They have proper square axles. It's true. At this rate, we'll have to turn our own wheels. Either that, or we'll have to have a whip round and buy scale link. There's always that option. Scale link do plastic centred driving wheels similar to Market's wheels with the square ends, which accept Romford axles. They do indeed, and these are scale link wheels on here. In fact, Scale Link also sell a lot of Markets products. If anyone here wants to buy Scale Link, perhaps we could all subscribe to shares in a company founded to purchase it. And good evening, Red. How are you this evening? I hope you are well. Honestly, James, I'd totally go for that. I would be quite happy to put the work in to keep Scale Link running. But I don't even have the 40k to offer him. That I estimate its value based on his sales and turnover that are reported to Company's House. Never mind what he'd actually take for it, because I don't know that he'd accept that. That's just the most I think would be a sensible offer. Clearly you should sell your house there, move to the 13-bedroom house in Scotland, buy Scale Link with a change. No. Interesting, but the people on the stream, plus people who might be interested in your club, and others you know have 40k between us, I wonder. Who knows? So my other side cut out, didn't he? Respond, I'm fine, thank you, Gary, currently sat in bed to have work in the morning. Well, I am glad you are well. And being sat in bed because of work seems like a good idea. Could it be without scaling? Surely underselling is better than getting rid of it. Well, that depends on what he wants for it, though, Harry. It's worth investigating, worthwhile to keep it going, especially if we have somebody here prepared to do the actual work, it's experience running the business, and I'd be prepared to subscribe to some shares. Well, James, I will have you know that I have been self-employed for 12 years now, running businesses of various sizes, and would be more than happy to do the work to keep ScaleLink running. I'd invest under stipulation, we call it Oaklink. The company could be called whatever you wanted, but I'd continue it trading as ScaleLink. Hydration is important. Twice as long as I've had my job, yeah, see? I've done this self-employed. It would be weird for me now going back to employment because I'm not used to answering to anyone. After that, all $2 of mine are yours. A whole $2. We just might get there. Seriously, this is worth investigating. If we have model railway institution that we don't want to lose, a profitable company and a competent business person willing to take on the work. Well, I agree. I do think it is worth investigating, yes. The first thing we have to do is find out how much he actually wants for it. But I would also stress that I would not look at this as a money-making venture. Perfect. Almost like I planned it. Agreed, James. Agreed. We have circa 2 years to raise the money and sort out negotiations. Indeed. Won't know the price if you don't ask. Exactly. For 40k investment, I wasn't imagining a huge turnover. No, it's really not. And I say that's the maximum I'd go to on it. Why am I cutting the outsides? I want to do the windows first. It's a good job I've got lots of these in case I mess it up, isn't it? It's almost like that's why I did it. Who knew there were so many rich people in this community? Must be nice. It's very true, Alex. Very true. Of course, with your web design skills, you can make the website a bit easier to navigate. Oh God, the first thing I would do would be to change the website. Because, yeah, that website, it's hard, isn't it? Might double your turnover overnight. It's an off-the-shelf package, that website. Or I assume it is, because there are quite a large number of, I mean, specifically model railway companies that use it. But I have no idea what it actually is. Live stream would be an excellent place to market your products, and you could send some for free to people like Jenny Kirk to get her to review things. Oh, I'm not one for sending out for reviewers. I like my reviews to be trustworthy. Langley uses the same. Yes, Langley used the same bit of kit. So I've seen it in a few different places, but I've got no idea what it actually is. Could pay for a good alternative stream ad to claim the cost as a business expense. You overestimate what the turnover of Scale Link is. I'm hoping this sometime this week I will be able to get a chance to investigate properly and test some stuff. Stream to myself. Just something I've wanted to work on for a while. Is Langley, the model railway company, anything to do with Langley, long-standing toy and model shop company based in Norwich? I don't know. I honestly have no idea. No, Langley's based in Crawley. Fair enough. That answers that question. Now, something I've just remembered about, because of Langley. Oh, their website now looks different. Oh, interesting. I'll have to check it out. But yeah, something I've just remembered because of the mention of Langley that I discovered earlier. For those who like the Brighton, why wouldn't you? They're the best railway. Or big tank engines, again, why wouldn't you? They're brilliant. Barry Luck, who is a very, very, very talented modeller, known for his P4 layout Partridge Green, amongst a couple of others he's got, has listed a L-class tank engine on eBay this evening. I assure you it will be fantastic, although I've not actually looked yet. I just heard from him earlier that it was going live on eBay at 8 o'clock. That'll be a Langley white metal kit. Or possibly scratch built, knowing him. He does that. To call the guy talented would be an understatement. He has a keen eye for accuracy. If you're ever lucky enough to see his layouts, any of his layouts, at shows, you will understand this. You won't want to stand around his layouts too long as a result of it, because him and his operators are stood there running the trains, and to communicate with each other they are using bell codes with bells out of actual XLBSC signal boxes at either end of the layout. I've heard various bell code layouts at exhibitions. Yeah, they get annoying after a while, don't they? I like the level of realism. I like the level of realism. I don't like being around it for too long. Bet that makes them popular with other operators at the exhibitions. Yeah, it does. It makes them super popular. But his modelling is second to none. Dedication, indeed. Almost pops DC sound diesel depot layouts. Yeah. He has a website for his modelling and his layouts. So go over to Google and stick Partridge Green layout or model railway into Google and you'll find it. It is stunning. He runs various eras with improved engine green, goods green, umber, all sorts on the layout, and it is fantastic. I usually just the any head code for the job each particular engine does most frequently. Yeah, that's a bit different though. That's putting it on the loco. This is them ringing the bells as if they're in the signal box to communicate. Can't find it on eBay, annoyingly. That's annoying. I will see if I can get a link off him. Because, yeah, it will be an absolutely stunning model. So I've not seen it yet, but I know it will be because it's him. Well, I did find a rather nice gauge one, LBSC 442. I think I've seen that. I do believe I've seen that. Oh no, it broke. Is it an unassembled kit by chance? No, he said it was assembled. He said it was the loco, not the kit. So there's a chance that it's scratch built, knowing him. It was in a discussion about L-class tank engines. Oh yeah, I'm putting my one of them on eBay. It's going live at 8 o'clock. Must be wonderful to be that talented. Yeah. Believe I found a different Barry from eBay. Oh really? Found selling an L kit. Found the same thing. Maybe it's from what he said, it didn't sound like he was selling a kit. Maybe it is a kit. So I'd be very surprised, but from what he said. But if you found someone who's called Barry and is selling an L-class kit, look at the time remaining. Did it go live at about 8 o'clock? Because he did say it was going live at 8 o'clock. Exactly 8 PM. Well, there we go then. It's got to be that one, and he's only selling a kit. How very strange. So it's definitely not the impression I got from him earlier. I meant to check it out before stream, but I completely forgot about it. Well, look, there's a link to Patreon. Donate to Patreon, and then we can buy Scale Link together. We'll share in Discord if anyone's interested. Yeah, definitely worth sharing in the Discord. Well, I just also found an LMS livery HR Castle, which I'll link on the Discord as well. I'm trying to picture a Highland castle. I know I've seen them before, but I can't picture it. So, let's make a bird cage. Looks like a passenger version of Jones Goods. Yeah, I think I can picture it now. Don't come rolling this way. At some point, I'll have to get the right wheels for these. What would be really good, you know, like what would make sure I have the right wheels for things all the time, would be if we bought Scale Link. I'd never have the wrong wheels again. Sunday morning. Oh, I need a set of wheels for stream later. Let's go make some. There we go. Now we just need to get this bit back in. Do wheel making streams. I'm not sure I'd be interested enough for that, but yes, potentially. Been eBaying today, even though I really shouldn't. Gonna regret it at the end of the month. Oh, do tell, Alex. What have you got? What have you got? Especially as a good chance Battle 1Ps are coming in the next few weeks. Yeah. I really want one of them for the Midland project, but unless someone chooses to donate one, it's not going to happen. Oh no. Will remain a secret until I get it, and I know I'm happy with it, or it's going back. No, don't do that to me. How very cruel of you. What sort of percentage dividend could be obtained from a company running scale link with a proper website if purchased 40k US vote? I approve of Midland 1Ps. As I say, James, don't see it as a profit-making venture. And there we have a birdcage. Never say never, Gary. I've seen and picked up some absolute bargains on eBay. Scratch-built brass logos for under £45, for example. Yeah, but Bachmann 1Ps aren't under £45, and I need to keep the cost of the Midland project down, because there's no point me spending thousands and thousands of pounds on a project that is being sold for charity and I'm not going to make as much back on. Purchases for it need to be realistic, and I need to be able to make my money back on them, otherwise there's no point doing it. Can't quite see an MR livery Batman 1P cheap on eBay for a long time. No, indeed, Alex. I just had that having Gary size coming off after pressing size glue things together. Yeah, it's so annoying, isn't it? But there it is. It's in. And now it's more permanently in. Let's stick some at the bottom as well. It's finally a birdcage brake van. Been waiting for it long enough. You know what, that could get a second coat now. One day that carriage will be attached to some bogies, but not until I get some decent bogies for it, because the ones under it are Pico ones that are way too short. Give this another shake. And open it up again. And you know what, with the way this live stream's going, I think we should leave it off the blue tack. It's going so well. I'm going to try and remember about this cut this time. Oh, I didn't put that on very well. It's completely destroyed that. So I'd like to remind you, it wasn't that long ago we built that wagon on stream, this one, and at the time I didn't do the birdcage for it because I felt like scratch building a Craven birdcage was a bit beyond me because of the number of windows, how small they are. And I thought, no, there's no way I could do that. I'll get a white metal one and solder it on. And there goes that loco. Awesome. That was good. That's what we wanted. Let me pick up the pieces. But you've just watched me do it in about an hour, so, you know, my message here is, just because you don't think you can do something doesn't mean you can't. IPA is good for finding small cuts on your hands. Yeah, I bet it is. Probably good idea to remember about the open wounds. Yes. Looks great. On my attempt to make the same car in A scale, I made the lantern size part of the car size. What a pain. Yours is a much better solution. I would make them as part of the sides if I was making it from scratch, because this is a white metal kit that didn't come with it. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh, what was dropped? I missed that. You don't want to know what was dropped. It's repairable, but it's in a couple of pieces right now. But it is fixable. I hope whatever it was didn't go smash. There's its chimney. And there's its roof. And there's its driver and fireman. I approve of repairable. Yeah, it will be. Instant. Wait, being stuck again doesn't work. Your work looks great, sir. Oh no, not another broken loco. That's not good. I dropped an H2 off the end test track once. That sounds painful. It's all very then I modified my test track to have bits of wood at each end. Yeah, mine has very big bits of wood at each end. very unfortunate. Yeah. I mean, for those that have been paying attention for the whole stream, it would have been rather obvious that that was what went. Because, of course, I have bought things in and out of shot, and I said Loco when it fell. I do believe it's the only Loco I have shown this evening. I dropped my 4F a couple of years back, total write-off. Ouch. Oh, there's another bit of. Oh, that's not a bit of it. Darn. Oh, is that one? Yes, that is one. Excellent. Some of these supports for the cab roof have disappeared. I'm currently down 2. Be fine. It is repairable. We can rebuild. We have the technology. You know what, chatbot? You're right. At times like this, hydration is important, as is buying your Oak Hill Model Railway mugs from teespring.com/whatever comes next. Exclamation mark merch chat in the chat if you want to find out. Now you see why most of mine orders a bit like, oh, I know why. Has anyone dropped a part from building kit and then crawling about on the floor? You find it's dropped on the table many times, J94. Joking aside, painful. It is painful, but it's repairable. Once I've put the paint on this, we'll bring it on screen and sort it out. Note for the future, keep all precious items well away from work areas. Well, the thing is, where it is my area for storing stuff that's not being worked on. Remember, my workbench is huge. It's just where I was moving my hand round from underneath the camera. Because, of course, the camera has the boom arm that goes all the way off the sides. I caught it with my hand as it went. But honestly, it'll be fine. I get that a lot. Not just me then. Always good to hear. But yeah, if I'm planning on, like if I'm doing a project like this, where it's part of a train, the rest of the train sits in that area on the side of the workbench. So there is a loco and 2 carriages there. The idea being that at the end of the stream I can easily just bring them on camera to set up for photos. There is almost always something in that space. I think that's the first time I've ever knocked something to the floor. There, one completed circuit card for controlling servos. Excellent, James. Excellent. On the plus side, can now officially give it a drop rating. You know what? It did well. The only part that has actually snapped off is the chimney. The rest of it is things I have glued on that have come off. It's survived very well. I am impressed with it. Ten out of 10, wouldn't drop again. Mine usually sit on the coffee table next to my workstation. Again, my workbench is absolutely huge. And the coffee table's on the other side of the room. Maybe trade these for safety and keep them a bit more away. You never know when accidents might happen. That doesn't sound like a very me way of doing things. A more me way of doing things sounds more like building an area of the workbench just there with walls around it to keep them in. That seems more like the me approach. Either that or do nothing, one of the two. That also sounds like quite a me thing to do. What about that crystal glass? What about my glass? The glass is the work area. Through your printed stuff normally breaks. You just breathe near it. Yeah, this definitely didn't. Genuinely surprised actually. Yeah, it's held up well. And so we get this done and I'll get it on camera. And repair it. Bet that wouldn't have happened if I left the paint off the blue tack. Until said area is built. No. Until said area is built, we carry on living dangerously. Some better materials available recently. I think I've been encouraging Javier to look into these for his i3. Ah, interesting. Maybe, but for those of us who already bought 3D printed things, they're already horrible brittle materials. The expensive glass that didn't survive the fall. Oh, yeah! God, I forgot I dropped one of them on stream. Yeah, that's shat. I tell you, that was horrendous. That went everywhere, that £20 blooming drinking glass. And as I was cleaning it up after the stream, I got loads of bits in me. I was bleeding everywhere. I think I've lost 40% of my 3D printed purse due to brittle breakages. Ouch! Yeah, I totally forgot we broke one of them on stream, Harry. I didn't paint it into my cut that time. Some jewelers wear special aprons that clip their work but just keep them dropping things. That's a good idea. But yeah, when we talk about space, remember I've got the work area here. I've got a huge area for tools that is bigger than the work area here. And I've got a pretty huge area for storage on this side of me. That's nearly 1.5 foot that is off camera on that side. And then the laptop sits on a completely separate bench to give me even more room. When I say my workbench is absolutely huge, I mean it. Type of glass does tend to just explode when dropped. Yeah, it really did, Red. This is why I'm done with 3D printing. Too many drawbacks right now. Maybe one day it'd be good. It calls for a drinks cabinet next to my workbench. Yeah, see, my drinks live underneath the workbench. Look, there's the power. There's the unit that gives us power for everything. So underneath the bench is where my drinks live. And because it's just by my knee, so with that glass where it was slightly taller, I caught it on my knee as I was turning round. That is how that glass went. Also, I think we were only on like stream 2 or 3 then. So, poor little tank engine. I am drinking tennis. Knee reveal. Yes, knee reveal. Confirmed, Gary has knees. So the reason why I've got a 3D printer, I'll do small objects, so there's a solid block of resin, easily repairable. Yeah. But that just clips back on there. This has snapped off very cleanly, so it just needs a spot of glue. Well, she's basically fixed already. Have to pay respects. Shit, Speedy, Gary, induced recovery. Linear's best priorities, indeed. No, I ban anyone that types F. He's more than just a pair of floating hands. Apparently so. Hang on a second, I've just got to do something. There we go. Resin does snap cleanly at least. Tiny spot of super glue usually fixes most things. That is what I am hoping. Gosh, the stream is a long way behind the chat. That doesn't surprise me, but now you all know how far behind it is. Indeed, this is all a bit unfortunate. Oh, and is the chimney hollow? It is not. I mean, it is for a... It looks to me like it is solid here, but I think, yeah, that is just a tight... In fact, that is the blooming... That is the wax that comes on it. So yes, the chimney is hollow. Does it go all the way down? No, that is just where the... So, where's my screen? That is solid, but everything above that is hollow. You can see all the way through it. See, now Gary did that, but I still gives me the he still gives me the option to ban him. I saw the F seconds before you said, hang on a minute, actually chimneys are also hollow. I approve hollow chimneys. Yeah. I also approve. Look, I can put that all the way through. Also, whilst we're at it, I'm punching the camera. Because I can. Can't get the steam through them otherwise. Very true. Imagine a smoke unit in one of these. Cause you know what? I did consider trying. Right, that's the direction. That sits on nicely there. It says I can block the bot as well. Really? Excellent. That is very interesting. But remember, it told me I could block you on Twitch, and I did try it once, but it wouldn't let me. Steering me still not a command. Apparently not. Still haven't updated the website with what the commands are and aren't. There we go, it's on and it's straight. Both you and the bot, it gives me the option to report and block. Interesting. Very interesting. Can stick the driver and fireman in easier now because I stuck them in with the roof on before. Just have to get him lined up properly because he's left a footprint. Approve of on and straight. On and straight make a happy combination. They do on a chimney, yes. It turns out YouTube wants mods to have the power to stage a coup. So it would appear. And it wouldn't surprise me either. No joke there, but I get kicked. Like, you know, of all the things YouTube does, would saying, yeah, we've just given your channel to someone else because they asked for it. Surprise me? No, it would not surprise me if they said that. You gave this person the power to be a mod. Now they own your channel because they asked nicely. That's totally a YouTube thing to do. Please do, Red. I've not had a chance to ban anyone yet. I've been looking for You had 2 chances last week. You just missed them because you were playing a game. Oh, I'm going to refill the hydration vessel. I got to ban 2 people. It was great fun, even if they were actually the same person. Hydration is important. Have you seen Lindsay Ellis's latest video? Turns out YouTube can refuse a DMCA takedown if they deem it bogus without ever touching the YouTuber. No, I did not. I have not seen that. And I did not know they could do that. I have to question why YouTube would want to, though. That seems like making more work for YouTube. They just choose not to 99.9% of the time. I'm not surprised. You can sell t-shirts. The IQ channel is now important enough to have trolls writing on it. Yes. Oak Hill Model Railway. Big enough that we get trolled. Sometimes I don't bring it on myself. That looks way too high up. Oh no, of course it's not, is it? It goes on the outside. I remember now. I'm not actually going to stick the roof back on because I'm missing the other 2 uprights and I don't have any of that size wire to hand to make new ones. But the Loco survived, it's fine. We have recovered it. Let's move it back off camera. Get the paint out because we need to paint the birdcage. No paint spills. I'm not even going near the tin. The lid has plenty of paint on it. See, we can't spill the paint if we don't go near the paint. And as I say, if I hadn't of blue tacked down the other one, which is still blue tacked down, I probably would have spilt that instead of knocking over the Loco. The kittens will love the contents of the birdcage. What, the guard? What if he's a dog person? Just give it a weatherboard. Give what a weather? The Loco does not need a weatherboard. I wonder if there are people out there that can do custom parts of kit bashing made from metal. I wonder if there are people out there that can do custom parts of kit bashing made of metal. Like what? For it, yeah, give us an example, because I'm not sure what you mean there. Do you mean like custom etched parts? Because if so, yes, there are people that do that. Weatherboard and steam pipe. Yeah, you could. I imagine you could get those etched up. It would be a long delay at the minute because the etchers are still all catching up. But yeah, there are definitely people out there that will do that. There we go, got it off. And there we go. Weatherboard the bird cage now matches the rest of the body. You know me, I'm never in a rush thinking about the future. Indeed, I know you're not. So I've made plastic parts and taken them to a jeweller casting brass. Oh, that's an interesting way of doing it. I'd never thought of that. Interesting, I'll try to remember that. Proof of matching bird cages. Why, thank you, as do I. Night, I'll need to sleep. Talk to you. Nice to you tomorrow. Okay, good night, Red, and speak to you tomorrow. Over on the chords of this. Thank you for coming. It does always mean a lot to have you here. Sleep well, etc. I'm still not singing. It's not happening, James. That nearly went straight into the cut. Right, let's try and lift this camera back up now. It doesn't like when I move it around. It can take me quite a while to get it in place. Oh, Gary got 3 ways of things, so you don't have to. Way. I'm glad I don't have to. Right, we've actually got some more to do to this because we need to do the roof support bits. Words, English. Me fail English, that's impossible. Now, according to my calculations, this should be the right width. If not, I've got loads more. Ralph. No, that should be a command. That is about the right width. It's close enough. Would have been right if I hadn't cut this edge off. Actually, good command for when we learn something on stream. Ralph, I'm learning. Yes! Yes, Alex. There we go. That's the Ralph command we need. It's not the Ralph command we deserve, but it is the Ralph command we need. So that's how I'm learning all my cat's breasts of cat food. So I put this in before sticking it to make sure it fit, and it fit, and now it's like too big. It's grown, and I appear to have just knocked a buffer head off. Yep, I done knocked a buffer head off. Right, there's a lot of chat going on there. Let's say good night to J94 first. Thank you for coming by. It means a lot to have you here. Sleep well, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. So let's see then. Can't have too many fluffies. Yes, we can. To be fair, but think of the fur. Think of the purring. Yeah, the fur's a problem. Very much approve of Lily's cat. Don't have cat. Only one partner's cat. Have cat seeking dog. He's good at his job protecting the wildlife in our garden. If I told you that was the first time I broke one of these early Brighton buffers, that would be a lie. White metal is not the right material to make buffers from. Brass better than white metal for buffers. Indeed, plastic is better than white metal for buffers. They can be sprung in brass-proof sprung buffers, chocolate metal, white metal for buffers. Yeah, you know what? I'll go with that. But yes, sprung buffers are the best buffers. Right then, that's the start of some supports for the roof. One at each end of the bird cage, so that we've got something to run to. I'll do a couple more for the inside here, maybe even 3 more for the inside here. I won't do any more for this side. Brass bodies and turnstile heads are best for buffers. Well, yes. I approve. Gareth approves of sprung buffers. I approve of your approval. Of my approval. Of sprung buffers. Lily, how does resin fare for those buffers? Lily, is on something you had a verdict on that? I've got some resin buffers in here somewhere, I think. Yeah, look, there's a resin buffer. Another reason to like done buffered early horsehair buffers, solid blocks don't tend to snap. Well, not as much, no. Oh yeah, there's some glue there, that's what that noise was. Trick resin buffers not fully cure them so they retain some flexibility. Paint them so the resin doesn't get exposed to sunlight. What Alex said. I'm learning. Could I soundbite that and make the command say it? Yes I could. Will I? No. Not a chance. I approve of Alex the Mole and Manual Gary bot. We most definitely need the... We do, that's a good one. I like that one a lot. Has so many uses each stream. It does. I'm also falling asleep though. Well, you best go to bed then, Linny. I believe it would appear that we are troll safe this evening. Principal skips and Super Nintendo Chalmers. Yes. Oh, Ralph. It's a shame I haven't worked out if you can have multiple responses at random for the same command. I'd be very surprised if you couldn't. Like, I have no idea what they do, but you all have points from the chat bot. Okay, that's a lie. I do know what they do. They're for games that are built in, and so that you can purchase chatbot related perks. I'm not even kidding. So this is a multiple responsibility. Excellent, a hard and fortress case. Serve Mr. Mole to keep his troll spotting eye out. Oh, troll splatting club out, right? We do. Good night, Lily. Sleep well. Has been fantastic to have you here, as always. There's no point making yourself tired for the morning by troll spotting. Chatbots can do all sorts, most of it is pointless. Yeah, there is some very pointless stuff. I say he's collecting points of everyone that chats. And those points are supposed to be used to unlock extra features like games and exclusive commands and stuff. And it's just like, why? Break's looking great, Gary. Really looking forward to seeing these finished. Thank you very much, Lenny. As am I. I approve of brakes, they're good for stopping. Well, that depends on how good your brakes are. In this era, the brake carriages were the only carriages with brakes. They were indeed. Twitch likes adding complete points features every now and then. Most people end up never using. Yeah, the 1860s, thoroughly mediocre. Exactly. Now, let's add a little bit more glue to these to strengthen them, because they really do not feel like they're in there very well. And for reasons I hope are obvious, I'd rather use too much glue than not enough glue. The single block would down directly on screw handle on single wheel in brake carriage. But these ones have blocks on every wheel. But yeah, they wouldn't be good. Usually 2 brake garages per train, one have an underguard to operate the second one. There would always be 2 on the Brighton. It was policy of the Brighton. So I have no idea how points work or why. But SJ Carter has the most at 88. I have 20 somehow. And now you know. The rest of the afternoon I have 1 brake carriage and train. So trend packs, 12 carriages, maybe more four-wheelers, the only locomotive tender and 2 carriages would have brakes. Yeah. It worked, didn't it? Trains still stopped at stations. No, it didn't work. That's why it changed. So one might imagine trains took longer to stop. We would have to start braking sooner. This reduced average speeds, especially on stopping trains. Yes, as it would. But yeah, the Brighton, throughout its whole existence, required brakes at both ends of the train. On steam-hauled stock anyway, not so on electric stock, I believe, because they did have an electric locos that ran with carriages on either side, much like a Great Western Pannier with an auto carriage on both sides. Weren't you supposed to not use the loco handbrake to stop? Maybe that was just America at the time. So North London Railway is one of the first lines to use continuous brakes. Clark and Webb train. But so far as I'm aware, the locomotive tender brake was used. I was different over here then. Yeah, I believe they used the loco brake more because well, watch the Tickfield Thunderbolt to find out what happens when you only use the one on the brake and not the one on the loco. Whistle commands were used to coordinate braking. And the Brighton had a bell system with bells on the sides of all the tenders. And the bot says, remember, hydration is important. Right, I think I head off here. Very nice work on Break's Day. Thank you, Javier. See you later. Has been great having you here as always. I think it must be time to try and make some roofs. Bale thought that was passenger community. Yeah, it was, but I believe it hooked into everything for the brakes. Hooked into everything so that the train could be stopped. I'm going to pour this water out, which will not be quite so boiling hot anymore, into my conveniently placed pot next to it. And I'm going to attempt to get these bits of plasticard out, which are now thoroughly rounded. Too rounded, actually. And not very evenly rounded because I couldn't get the pressure on them how I wanted, because I couldn't get them lined up because the glass had got stuck to the plastic. But you'll see that they are both. They are too long for the carriages, so that I've got some bits to lose. Now, on this one, I do not want to put a roof over the birdcage this evening, because this is my only way of getting into the birdcage to add windows, and I do not want to add add the glass for the windows yet because of all the super glue. That'll just frost them up and that'll be no good. So I want to get the roof on there and get that one cut but not actually on it yet. This one, provided it is dry, can have the roof added all the way along because I have access from underneath until I stick it to the chassis, obviously. So these are the things we must remember. On US locos in the 1860s didn't have loco brakes. You would put the loco in reverse and apply power gradually while the coaches were braked. Loco handbrakes only for when stationary. Very interesting. I'm learning. You could just put ventilation holes in the floor. I could. Or I could leave it to dry out a bit longer and stick the last bit of roof on with glue and glaze like I normally do, because I know that works. Exclamation mark Ralph. group general. No, not going to let me press it. Right. Response. I'm learning. Enabled, true, permission, everyone, submit. There we go, you should have a new command. It's an experienced wagon building chapter that largely recommends the holes in the floor technique. Yeah, but I don't want it to fail. Joys of playing Smokebots 1860s UPRR and CPRR locos in train sim. Indeed. Now I'm learning excellent woo best command. I'm glad you approve. But yeah, why move to a new technique when I have a technique that I know works? That is my question. So I can now access my newly found pen pot because the new technique might work even better. But the technique I'm using works perfect. What is better than perfect? There is no risk of anything going wrong with the technique I currently use. You know, the super glue can't mist up the windows if I'm not using super glue. That's too close. It's not what I wanted. That's better. Better is subjective, and it is. That's looking amazing. So, found problems in C-class. Quarter in the rear fireman's wheel is totally out. Quartering being out, I do not approve of. Finding problems and being fixable, I do approve of. And thank you for the looking good comment. But yeah, if the problem that causes the windows to fog up is super glue, and I can completely remove super glue, then where's the problem? Then that's clearly the best solution. And I don't think you can do better than that. And oh yeah, that is a rule, isn't it? I forgot that I've got a no all caps rule. Bad, Christopher. I stole those rules from you. You should know them. And there is our first bit of roof. Glad someone's paid attention to the rules. Good job you aren't the one who set them. Exactly, it is a good job. It'd be really embarrassing if I was, wouldn't it? Luckily I've got other people to pay attention to these things for me. I'll put it away. I forget I've got a pen pot up there now. only went up there yesterday. Don't do it again. Like I say, Christopher, you wrote these rules, not me. I literally copied and pasted them out of one of your streams once, when I was first starting. Where are the rules posted? They are in the description, down below the video. Right, down below the stream. Yeah, I know what I'm saying. Rules are always in the description, so that I can enforce them. Otherwise, I only get ban hammer happy when people ignore multiple warnings. Description only below the stream. Rules, no, there is no link to the rules because they're on screen, James. Scroll down. Must have caught the caps lock, trying to write from the other side of the room. That one time, of course. Yeah, I know how you sit with your thing over the other side of the room. You strange person. It's right, we're all strange here. And there we have another bit of roof. I will cut the bit for the top and we can place it on there and pretend that it's in place and stuck on. Look at me drawing straight lines, aren't I clever? Right now, sat in my usual comment making position, that bit closer, there's no light on the keyboard either. Now, it's like interesting the Royston model railway communities. We've probably got a higher population than Royston Valley. 325 subscribers now. No more giveaways till we get to 500 though, so if you want free stuff, you have to go and promote me. Get all your friends to sign up. There we go, see, we'll sit it on there and pretend it's got a roof on that bit. Local stream for local people, there's nothing for you here. As I say, we've probably got a higher population. Oh, it's not quite sticky enough to do all of my marking for me. I was hopeful, but it let me down. My pen's not going to draw on the plastic card anymore. Scribble on some paper. Encourage some more ink through. I never usually have problems with this pen. Not sure if the population's ever established. Also, pre or post nosebleed epidemic. Yeah, I don't think it is, but I imagine 325 is a lot for Royston Vasey. Why have I thrown that bit in there? I want that bit. I've got to make this bit of roof out of that yet. Do you add weight to your cars? They will have weight added, yes. These ones will probably be kept very light because they are to go behind my very small 3D printed Loco, which just doesn't have room for lots of weight. But yes, they will have weight added. Generally, as a rule, I picked up from some rather more fine scale modelers than myself. 25 grams per axle. Look at that, flowing nicely now. Right, let's double check that again and make sure I didn't go off the lines there. No, they look fine. Well, Hadfield, which was used to film Royston Vase's population 6,305, it's a sizable place, bigger than I thought. That is quite a bit bigger than I expected, yes. But just because it was used for filming doesn't mean they're the same. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. lid does not want to go on. That does not bode well for the future of that pot of glue. It will go on if I use two hands, it's fine. I've got to remember I've got a pen pot up here now, so my pens are in it. Go along there. That can go along there. Oh, that the blue line did come out, so I can see it there. There we go. A roof. I've progressed from using Zoom to using USB webcam for my servo motor setting up. Aha! I approve of progress. Although Zoom has the advantage of not needing to be plugged in. But I do approve of USB webcams. There's one just here, for example. Right, let's hold that down. Get better quality on the webcam, less latency. It's also an easier interface. Indeed. Those are all good plus points of not having to use Zoom. Another one, of course, is the fact that you're not being spied on as much. There we go. A roof. We still need roof furniture adding to it. Look at that, the problems that blue tack's causing. Moving my big sheet of glass. I believe I just need the one lamp on here. I'd best check that in the book. Best get both books out actually, then I can check this one as well. Let's see then. Yes, just the one lamp. Now we check the other book to see the roof furniture. For that passenger breakdowns, page 99, volume 2 of the Bible. There is nothing to add for that one. Everything's coming up Millhouse. Because you see, what we have right here is a single oil pot that sits just there. I have doubts that being spied on setting up model railways is likely to have particularly adverse consequences. You never know, they might try and sell you stuff. Sell it to their advertising partners. Right, which one of these is the fish belly? You're sort of a fish belly. But I should use an ad block control. No, good point. Good point. Right, where's that pen? There's the middle there. There's the middle there. There's the middle there. So that lamp pot wants to go there. It's a white metal oil lamp from 5 and 9 models. And is the first part of this carriage that I haven't built. Done something too. That feels weird, that does. Now we're going for a relatively clean look on these. So I am, since we have 20 minutes left, going to splash some white paint on the roofs. Suppose I should get that blue tack back out. And then I believe we can call this train done this evening. I mean, there's still small details that some of it needs, like couplings and stuff. But I'm not going to bore you too much by sitting here making up a load of couplings. You've seen me do that before, and if you haven't, there's plenty of live streams you can go back and see me do it. But I assure you, you're not missing much by having not seen it. Huzzah indeed, Alex. I'm not even sure whether that's for the end of the project or if it's for the fact I'm not going to make all the couplings on stream. Either way, I agree. White is of course a totally unrealistic colour for the roof to have been for more than, 10 minutes after leaving the works. But this train is being done up as something a little bit special. The loco is going to get many details done on it that are way over the top for what it is. It's going to get lining, it's going to get big cast brass, or in reality etched brass, but big brass number plates and all sorts that the real loco wouldn't have had, but were all features of Craven locos, and I want it to look special. Zarful completed early train. Yeah, I'll believe you. As I say, either way, I agree with you. Oh, there's a link to Facebook. We must be getting very near the end. There we go. So just position that on there for now. It's good enough. We'll get the paint on this and get the rake set up. I need to finish my third at some point as well, because it's still not got the panelling on the other side. I wouldn't care if you did show making couplings again, it's still modelling. Fair enough. I think it comes a point where I can stop showing the same things over and over, I think. Hence why I did the filling and filing on this off screen. And then if people really want to know how to do it, they can request it in chat and I can do it. And for things that are really popular, I can do a video for them, which would really be a better way for doing tutorials for things like that, like I did for the press fix transfers. Yeah, makes sense. And apparently, as I've been told, apparently my press fix transfer tutorial is the only press fix transfer tutorial on YouTube. I've not actually looked to check this for myself, but that's what I've been told. You know what, whilst we're here and we've got all the paint and everything and a bit of time, let's give this one a white roof as well. Because I did intend on doing that, I just never got round to repainting it. The colour on the roof is still left over from when it was painted to be an old coach still in use in Stroudley livery on Oak Hill. It would be mad if it was, but then very little surprises me these days. Yep. There's quite a few people that have found the channel through that press fix tutorial. And they all say, oh, I searched for ages and yours is the only one I could find. Really? But that is part of the reason I wanted to set up a YouTube channel, was to do things like that and teach people things. So it does make me happy that I've done something that is helping people. Yeah, it seems mad to me that I was going to put this set in Stroudley livery behind a terrier once upon a time, because I wanted this rake because there's pictures of it in Aylsham, but I never thought I'd have an appropriate Craven loco for it to pull. And yet here I am, finishing the rake to go behind the most appropriate Craven loco. I suppose outside model railways, waterslide far more common. When I do wargame, military model making is pretty much always waterslide decals. Yeah, model railways is the only time I've come across press fix. But it still surprises me that there wouldn't already have been something out there for it. And there we have a coat of paint on that roof too. Golden rule of railways, the earlier the better, indeed. But this is, that's how I expected to have this rake behind a terrier, all painted mahogany. So the first two carriages did get painted mahogany originally. Gonna need a new project for next week. If anyone has anything they want to see, let me know. Watch the wound, yes. I very nearly got it again earlier, but paused and stopped myself just in time. I've lost the tube that goes on the end of the brush. Oh, there it is, found it. Right, I suppose I best get a loco here, because this rake does need to be diagonal to fit. A carriage here. A carriage here. A carriage here. And a carriage here. In the US, dry transfer decals, there may be videos using that name. Ah, possibly. And there we have. Let's move the camera stand out. There we have a full Craven train. Now it is technically 5 to midnight and not quite actually midnight, so I'm going to remind you that hydration is important. And then I think we're going to end the live stream early, because I don't think there's anything else we can start in 5 minutes. But I am very, very happy with that. I'm going to have to give the layout a clean up so I can get some pictures of it, which will go up on my Discord first of all. So Alex posted a link to the Discord a minute ago, oakhillmodelrailway.co.uk/Discord. If you want to see those pictures and you're not a member already. Yeah, I shall get the loco, the roof repaired, get some pictures taken and get them posted on there. So, yes, we have come to the end of our live stream. I'm very happy with what we've got done tonight. I'd like to thank you all for coming. I have had a great time. I hope you have too. Thank you, Alex, Andrew and Paderborn there for your comments. And I suppose all that's left to say is good night. I should actually get time to edit the video for this Tuesday this week rather than skipping it again. There'll obviously be a review of the stream where you can get another look at the carriages on Thursday. And then I look forward to seeing you again next Sunday. Good night, everyone. Bye for now.